I'm Anil Kumar. Welcome to my series on lines. We are considering some very special applications of slope. You might need additional information about solving quadratic equations to solve this particular question. Now, these questions are important to attempt as in the midterm or in the final exam, you have questions where more than one strategy is utilized and more than one concept which you have learned is applied. Now let's look into the question and also see how different concepts come together to solve such a question. The vertices of a right triangle are A minus 4, 2, B is 2n, and C is n plus 1 minus 5. Find the possible values of n if the angle ABC is 90 degrees. So at B we have a right angle. Find equation of circle passing through these points, these 3 points, correct? So I'd like you to pause the video, answer the question, and then look into my suggestions. Now when we are saying we have a right angle at B, we could actually, let me just sketch a triangle here. Let's take a simple triangle. Now this triangle has no relation with the location of coordinate points on a coordinate plane, right? So we are just making a triangle to help us understand the situation and answer the question, correct? So let's say the points are A, B, C. B is where we have the right angle, right? This is the right angle. The coordinates of these points are given to us as A is minus 4, 2, B is 2n, and C is n plus 1 minus 5. To find n, we know at B these two line segments are perpendicular. Therefore, we can say that the slope m for AB times slope B to C, their product should be equal to minus 1, correct? So that gives you the basic equation to solve this question. We have one variable n, we have one equation to solve. Now, what is slope? As you know, slope m will be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's substitute these values. From A to B, we'll write n minus 2. So those are the differences in the y values. And 2 minus minus 4. So that becomes 2 plus 4 times. From B to C, minus 5 minus n. Right? You could even write it the other way. You could write n minus 5 also. Let me write this as n minus 5, which makes it plus 5, divided by 2 minus n plus 1. So both become minus, right? Equals to minus 1. So if we consider this as the second point, right? So y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Okay. So that is to say, we have n minus 2 in the numerator here, 6. Here we have n plus 5. The denominator here is 2 minus 1 is 1. So we get 1 minus n equals to minus 1. Now we can cross multiply, right? So we have n minus 2 times n plus 5 equals to minus. We'll take 6 on this side and also 1 minus n. Open the brackets, we have n squared minus, and let's multiply with 5n first, then we'll do minus 2n minus 10, bring it on this side. So we can write this as, okay, we'll do it in next step. We'll write minus 6 plus 6n. Now bring all the terms together, so we get n squared. That is 5 minus 2 is 3n. Minus 10, add 6 and take away 6n equals to 0. Correct. So that is the quadratic equation which we can solve and find the value of n. So let me combine the terms, minus 6n and plus 3n. So we get n squared minus 3n. Minus 10 plus 6 is minus 4 equals to 0. This can be factored, right? Sum and product. 4 times 1, right? 4 negative and 1 positive. You could use quadratic formula at times. So we get two values of n. One of the value for us to make this 0 is n equals to 4. The other value here is n equals to minus 1. So we get two values. So based on these two values, we actually get two set of points, correct? So we can write the set of points. So set 1, where we'll use n equals to 4 in the given points, right? For n value, what do we get? For n equals to 4, we get a as minus 4, 2, b as 2, 4, and c as 4 plus 1 is 5, so we get 5 minus 5. Okay. Now in set 2, we will use n equals to minus 1. Let me write different ink. Second set, n equals to minus 1. Okay. So this time we get the points A, which is minus 4, 2, B, which is 2, minus 1, and C, minus 1 plus 1 is 0. So we get 0, minus 5. So we get two set of points. Perfect. Now, let's look into the question. So we have done the first question. Find the possible values of n. So we get n equals to 4 or n equals to minus 1. Right? So that is done. Now, the second question here is find the equation of circle passing through these points. So we have to find basically these are three fixed points. So will you have one equation or two equations? So basically, if I sketch a circle here joining these points, now since this is a right angle, so we will kind of get like this, right? So that is the circle. So let me just draw a dotted line connecting these points, correct? So what you notice here is that the circle so formed will have AC as its diameter, right? Since we have this 90 degrees here, so that means the midpoint is right in the center of AC, right? Do you see that? Now to get the equation of circle, we could do many things. So now we have to work on equation of circle. Right. So we have two set of points to work on. So let's take it on the fresh page. Now the concept here will be that we are going to use these two as the points on the diameter and we'll consider any general point in between, right? And then figure it out. Again, we can also find equation with the other 2 points and then find the equation of the circle. So let's take a fresh page, copy the points and find the equation of the circle. So here is our question, right? So I've modified this question, right? I have modified the question a bit. As we were discussing, I've changed this statement as something like this. Diameter of a circle is given by the line segment A, minus 4, 2, and B, 0, minus 5. Find equation of the circle and then verify that the point 2, minus 1 lies on it. Now this is again very important. The questions could be phrased like this also, but it means exactly the same thing which we were trying to figure out while solving this question. Does it make sense to you? Okay. So it's kind of the same thing. So let's try to understand what we have now. So what we have here is we have a circle on which we are given diameter. So let's say this is the diameter. The 2 points given to us are, one is minus 4, 2. The other one is 0, minus 5. Right? So we need to find the equation of the circle. Well, there are many different ways to do it. However, we are going to use the concept of slope. Right? You can find the midpoint, correct? Find the radius, and you know how to get the equation of circle. That is the alternate method, correct? But we are going to use slope to find the equation of the circle. So let us assume that there is some point on the semicircle. In that case, let's call this point as P, whose coordinates are x, y. Correct? So in that case, from A to B, since A to B is the diameter, when we join P, we actually get a right angle. Correct? In a semicircle, always you get right angle triangle if diameter is the hypotenuse. Perfect? Okay. So from here, we'll get the equation of the circle. See how. Now, consider any point P with coordinates x and y on the circle. So in that case, what is the slope of A to P? The slope of A to P will be x minus 2. Sorry, y minus 2. I'm so sorry. Y, difference of y, x plus 4. Correct? What is the slope for B to P? So difference in y values, y plus 5 over x minus 0. And what is the relation between these two slopes? Their product should be negative 1. Correct? That's it. So that helps to find the equation. You could go with product as negative 1, or you could also say that m of AP is equal to negative 1 over slope of BP, right? So this time we are going to use this type of equation, which you know about perpendicular lines, right, to get our equation. So m of AP is this, which is y minus 2 over x plus 4. That should be equal to negative of this, that means negative of x comes on the top now, right? Reciprocal of this, y plus 5. Is that clear to you? Perfect. Now we can cross multiply, correct? So we'll just cross multiply. So we get y minus 2 times y plus 5 equals to minus of x times x plus 4. Now we can bring them together, right? So bringing it to the left side gives us x times x plus 4 plus y minus 2 times y plus 5 equals to 0. Now if you notice, these are your coordinate points of the diameter. Do you understand? So from here I could write a general equation, that is x minus x1 times x minus x2 plus y minus y1 times y minus y2 equals to 0 is the equation of circle. Does it make sense to you? So from here you can clearly see that this actually is the equation of the circle when you are given coordinates of the diameter, right? So in this case, diameter is x1, y1 and x2, y2. Clear? In that case, that is the equation. Now that's a very important equation which you can always use to find your solution. Perfect? Okay. Now let's do one more thing. How do we know this is really equation of a circle? Let's find the center and the radius. Okay. We'll expand this. What we get here is x squared plus 4x plus y squared plus 5y minus 2y minus 10 equals to 0, right? Okay, now we'll do kind of completing the squares. We have x squared plus 4x. We can add and subtract half of this, right? Half of 4 is 2. So we'll add and subtract 2 squared. That really doesn't change the equation, right? The other part is about y squared plus 5y. Oh, 5y minus 2y is 3y. So let me write this as 3y. Okay. So that gives you 3 by 2 square, right? So we'll add and subtract 3 by 2 square. Okay. And then we have minus 10. Okay. So we have minus 10 equals to 0. Now that is completing the squares method, right? So you should know completing the squares. So this type of question is expected in the final exam when you have learned so many concepts. So all of these concepts come together. Now see, these three form a perfect square, and I could write this as x plus 2 whole square, right? So we have taken care of these three values. Now let's take care of these three values, which is also a perfect square. That was the whole idea, right? That is plus y plus 3 by 2 whole square. And we are left with these numbers. Minus 2 square, let me write this as 4, and minus 9 over 4 and minus 10 equals to 0. Is that clear to you? Correct? So, what we have now is so now what we have here is equation of a circle in this form. We have x plus 2 whole square plus y plus 3 by 2 whole square. We can take all these terms to the right side, correct? So we get 10 plus 4 plus 9 over 4. Let's see, 14 times 4 plus 9 over 4, correct? Okay. So what we have here is x plus 2 whole square plus y plus 3 by 2 whole square equals to 4 times 4 is 16, 56 plus 9 over 4, that is 65 over 4, correct? Okay. So that gives us the equation of the circle, which I'll write in different ink now. X plus 2 whole square plus y plus 3 over 2 whole square equals to all this, right? 65 over 4. Perfect. So now you know from the equation of the circle, which we just got, what is the center of this circle? Well, the center point, let's call this as O, will be minus 2 minus 3 by 2, correct? And what is the radius? Radius is square root of this, so 65 square root over 2 will be the radius, correct? So we got a circle which you can verify. So the point O basically is average of these two values. So if you add 2 and minus 5, we get minus 3 divided by 2, minus 3 divided by 2. X values, minus 4 divided by 2 is minus 2. So you get it. You can use the distance formula to find the distance and verify. Is that clear to you, right? So we actually have got the equation of the circle from one set of points. Now, as an added exercise, what you can do here is, I'm just going to copy the other set of points, set 2, which is we took 0, 5, so 5 minus 5. So in that case, the points for you are minus 4, 2. Take a general point, but you need to verify 2, 4. The diameter basically is 5 minus 5, right? So I like you to use these 2 points as the diameter, correct? Let's call them A and B. for now, A and B, and this will be a general point P, right? And you have to verify that this point 24 lies on this. Now the last part here is to verify that this point lies on the circle, right? So let's substitute 2 here. So we get 2 plus 2 whole square plus 2 plus 3 by 2, right, whole square equals to what? So this is 16, 4 square. Here it is over 4, correct? Y value is minus 1. I have to substitute minus 1, not 2 for y. So when I substitute minus 1 here, I get minus 1. Okay, so we kind of messed it up. So anyway, so minus 1 and 3 over 2. So minus 1 minus 2. So it is minus 2 and 3 is 1. So it is 1 over 4. So 16 plus 1 over 4, right, which gives you 65 over 4, correct? So substitute the point. So the point actually was 2 minus 1, right? 2 minus 1. Is it clear? So substitute minus 1 for y and then calculate. So you get radius, square of radius, 65 over 4 on the right side. That's it. So you have verified that this particular point lies on the circle. It does make sense to you, right? So that is how you could actually do this question. Now as an added exercise, you could do the same question with these 3 points and verify yourself that that point really lies on the circle. I hope you find it interesting and useful. Feel free to write your comment, share your views, and if you like and subscribe to my videos, that will be great. Thanks a lot and all the best.